What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and I'm joined here with
Gersh1.
And today,
now you guys look beautiful.
Today we're back to answer your beautiful questions in another episode of For the Greater WAAAGH.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put a question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. That is what Sylvian did. What is generally larger in size, a Nid Hive fleet or a great WAAAGH? To answer that question, that's a tough one.
Right, because I mean, you got to think about it this way. Tyranids, they tend to create however many forces they need through like the vats and all that stuff. So their numbers literally could be anything, whatever's needed to conquer that planet. While with orcs, you have a set number of orcs that are originally there, but as they continue fighting and stuff, they release spores, and their numbers begin to increase and increase and increase.
I'm going to go ahead and give it to the Great WAAAGH. I think those tend to be bigger than the Hive fleet, just because the Hive fleet, it's evolutionary designed to, it's designed to be sufficient.
Right.
So if it sees that it only needs 1,000, this is just like a number, like 1,000 bodies in order to conquer this world, it's only going to produce those 1,000 bodies, and then the rest is just going to be kept inside the Hive fleet as like melted down biomass. Whereas an orc doesn't really think that. An orc, it just keeps like the amount of orcs in a world that's being like overrun by the WAAAGH is just growing, and then more people from other sectors or more orcs from other sectors hear about it, and they actually come and join in. And there is no like, they don't care about whether this is too many orcs because there's never enough orcs.
Right.
So yeah, I'll give it to the orcs.
Yeah, because it also makes sense that you can have too many Tyranids, so strategically they won't have enough, but the orcs, they'll just keep piling them up.
Yeah, you. Next question.
This one's also for the Orky players. Diego Martinez asks, in the tabletop 40K game, are the smaller Gorka Morka trucks legal to play? What if I used little buggies or tracks?
So you're talking about the, because the only little like tracks and buggies I know about. Oh wait, are you talking about the old school models? Because if you're talking about the old school, yeah, that's what the Gorka Morka, that's where they come from. Yeah, you can still play them. I still play the truck from that era. It's a little annoying because it doesn't look as good as the other trucks. But yeah, it works just fine.
Yeah. For tournament play, maybe not, because I mean, obviously if it's bigger, you're going to have easier chances of line of sight and all this stuff. But it's best to talk to your opponent or the judge if you are doing like tournament play.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're playing just with your friends, yeah.
And when I started collecting orcs and I wanted more trucks, I thought to myself, it's probably cheaper to buy the old Gorka Morka on eBay. But no, they're about the same price as a regular truck. So my recommendation, unless you really like the old school trucks, which if you do, it's kind of funny. They don't look that great. It looks like Gretchen are riding in the trucks.
Little orcs.
Yeah. But yeah, I always try to go for like the better looking models. Next question comes from Gabriel Pedro Bento. If orcs are pure in their simple existence, when fighting and war is the same as eating and sleeping, what impact do they really have in the warp? It's not as strong as an Eldar, and it's not as strong as a human. The impact that the orcs have on the warp is actually unique to their species in general. The old ones created them with a unique ability to influence probability because of their warp powers, and the only manifestation is Gorkan Mork. Really. Yeah. So yeah. Next one.
This one is by Bartosz Stomazwalski, something like that. How do you think the story in 40K will go on? Which race will beat the others? Will there be a big unforeseen event in the near future?
I wouldn't be surprised if the Emperor did come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, the main protagonists is the Imperium. So obviously, we're going to follow the events of the Imperium, usually prospering. I don't see the Imperium dying off. But what I do see is maybe the Eldar, fall, and maybe the Tau take up their place. But yeah, I don't see the Imperium dying off.
What I would like to see is for GW to try to specialize certain armies a little bit better. Make the Tau a truly like range fighter to the extreme where they're actually like good in terms of their fighting or firepower. Because like right now they're okay, right?
Right.
But yeah, I would really like to see them specialize.
But then I feel like if they make them specifically, like let's say you increase their BS from 4 to 3, now they're going to be really overpowered when you take into account the marker lights. Now they're going to be hitting on 2s.
Well, yeah, but like that's what I'm saying. Like they should push them towards certain, because that's what they did last edition, and I thought it was okay.
But I mean, they were winning a lot of tournaments last edition.
Yeah, and now the Orks and like heavy people or heavy
infantry.
Yeah, they're winning tournaments. So it's just a matter of like, so you buff this one, and then the next round you buff this guy, and then like
it's never ending. It's always going to be one above the other.
But at least now, like as an Ork player, I like to say like, yeah, I like playing 40K, whereas before it was like, yeah, I like collecting 40K. But that's just like the cycle.
Right.
Next question comes from Frederick Crow. Will the Black Legion get their own codex? Probably not.
I doubt it. I mean, I feel like it's not like... Well, I mean, because you have other bigger, more like prominent legions that should have gotten their own codex, like...
Which they will. Like, Slaanesh is going to get their...
Right.
Like, the Noise Marines, and then with the return of Fulgrim.
Yeah.
With the return of... who's the one for... oh, no, Magnus already came.
Magnus is
but
out.
we got the Rubric Marines.
Right.
Yeah, so yeah, no, Black Legion is kind of like or what is it called? Undivided?
Yeah, because there's no one god they preach to.
And they just, you check the regular Space Marine or Chaos Space Marine Codex for that.
Right. Vermilion Beta. What Space Marine chapter is the sexiest?
The Pretty Marines.
The Emperor's Children.
Yeah, they're based off the Emperor's Children. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The next question comes from Paul McCrory. What age did you get into Warhammer 40K, and how did you find out about it?
Whew.
We found out about it because there's a Warhammer store that opened up at the mall that we used to go to, and I was really young. Like I still would have to go to the mall with my parents. Like I couldn't go by myself because I didn't drive or anything. And I don't remember how old we were. How old were we?
Maybe 5th grade or something like that.
So it's like 9 or 10.
Yeah.
And the way that I started is I would go in there, look at the models, and come out. Go in there, come out. While my parents shopped by, I think it was JCPenney that was really close by. And then finally one dude, he's like, hey man, you come in here a lot. Like, do you want to know what this stuff is all about? And I was like, yeah, sure. And then he gave me a little orc, the fantasy orcs. He had two swords or whatever. I ended up converting them later on. But from that point on, I got the Silent Alchemist into it and 3 other friends.
Yeah.
And we went there for my birthday, and we bought boxes. We didn't play by the rules, of course, because we were broke. And everybody pitched in, and we bought 1 box of Space Wolves.
Yeah. And we didn't know the rules or anything, so we just like built it to make it look cool.
Yeah, we did little squares,
It was basically checkers that we were playing with like miniatures.
Yeah, for the longest time.
And we used to like black out some squares and try to shoot them in the jetpack so that they fall in the black squares.
It was a lot of fun though. I really enjoyed myself playing that way.
Mm-hmm.
Next one. You got one?
This one is by NotHowFarias. Then who? What do you think we'll see once the Siege of Terra begins in terms of new models and lore?
Siege of Terra.
So you're saying like the Siege of Terra like in Forge World, or do you think there's going to be another Siege of Terra?
Right, because we already had the battle at Terra, the second battle of Terra, right? Which with Khorne. No, with who was it? Yeah, it was Khorne. Didn't Khorne attack? Or was that Perturabo? No, it was Perturabo attacked the Ultramarines. Was it Magnus?
You're talking about when they were fighting on the moon?
Yeah.
That's as close as they got to Terra.
No, but I thought that there was a second battle. The Battle of Terra. Was that Magnus? It probably was Magnus. But anyways, we're going to start seeing more Primarchs coming back.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm looking forward to.
More Primarchs.
It's been a long time since they released a Primarch.
Has it? What was the last person? Pertrabo or Magnus?
I think. Well, Pertrabo's not out. Mortarion, Magnus, and Gilliman.
Oh, right.
Because Gilliman was the first one to come out, and then kind of right away,
it was the two evil ones,
the two bad guys. So it's time, GW. The holiday seasons are coming.
Yeah. October though should start now.
Yeah.
Anyways. Next question comes from Dr. Nutella. Do orcs sleep? What about other races? Orcs, orcs sleep. I've seen them sleep in the Dawn of War trailers. So I'm gonna say yeah. And Eldar probably sleep, but they don't really have to like. They probably sleep within a couple hours. I think I've covered this. It sounds like I've covered this. The Tau probably have like regular sleeping cycles.
Yeah.
Human cycles, yeah. Tyranids don't. But yeah. Next one.
Andrew Fraser. Why is it that orcs can cut in and kill space marines with simple axes and choppas?
Because they're strong. Think of a gorilla. There is a video of a chimpanzee and a cat came sniffing by it. And then the chimpanzee like pretended to be curious, and then the cat like came up to it, and then all of a sudden the chimp grabbed the rat or the cat by the leg, and then just went like that, like a simple toss, and the cat went flying.
I thought you were gonna say like it ripped it in half or something.
No. The cat went flying. I'm pretty sure that the leg was all busted up from that, but they just have beastly strength.
They are beasts.
Mm-hmm. Next question comes from Project Perfect MMO. What orc unit has the most shots per round at the least cost? And if you fielded an entire army with them with 10,000 points, how many shots could you fire per round? So it's the Daca Jet. It has 6 super shooters, and 6 times 6 is 36. And you're hitting at a 5. No, you're hitting at a 4+ if you target one unit, and it's like 100 if you're playing Unbound. It's 170 points, I think. It might be even cheaper, but we'll do 170. So 10,000 divided by 170 equals 58 Daca Jets. So you have 58 Daca Jets times 36. You're shooting 2,080, or you're rolling 2,088 dice with a 4+ hit. Let's do the math.
So you'll hit about 1,044 times.
That's the 50?
Statistically, yeah.
Yeah. And then out of that, depending on how strong your thing is, you can mow down most things.
Right, especially if you're hitting like weaker stuff like toughness 3, then yeah.
But then that's of course if you're playing Unbound, and if you're playing Unbound, each race has its own little like, gimmick. Next one.
This one's by Mathis de Bruin. What do you guys think would happen if one of the Primarchs came back and wanted to make Primaris Marines from the Traitor Legions?
It would be heresy. Well, it depends on which guy, right?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much it's heresy. If you're trying to make the Traitor Legion Primaris, that means you're trying to make Chaos Primaris, and that's not gonna happen, bro.
You'll probably be called out and say like, you're Alfarius or you're Omegon, and it's another civil war.
Mm-hmm.
But those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, comment down below.
As always, put question before your question because we get those questions first. And if there's a question that you really enjoyed, hit that thumbs up so it'll be pushed up higher and we'll probably see it easier.
This was Gershwan,
Sound Alchemist, and we're out of here.
Oh, I used to put my freedom